Well, hi, good afternoon. Hello, everybody. And thank you for having me here to speak at the IAA. I live and work in Gothenburg, but I'm German. And I moved to Sweden in 2012 to become the director of design of Volvo cars. And it was at Volvo that we had the idea for the pure electric car company Polestar. And I have been the CEO of Polestar since 2017. So I have lived for 11 years in Sweden. But I always kept my subscription for FAZ and Spiegel, and I still every evening stream the Tagesschau. And I closely follow politics, economics, and culture in my country, in Germany. And sometimes I do this with disbelief. In an interview published last month, Hans-Werner Sinn of the IFO Institute told Bild that electric cars are actually accelerating climate change. Banning combustion engine is ruining the German auto industry and lowering our standard of living and increasing oil consumption in other countries. And if we don't buy oil, then the world oil prices fall and other countries buy more. And more electric cars mean more coal out of the ground and more carbon in the air. And there's not enough renewable energy for production. There would be no solution, perhaps in the long run. So let's abandon these useless policies and wait while others catch up. I'm sorry, but I think this is bullshit on multiple layers. There is no time to lose, and there is no very long term. And how is car industry doing in terms of global climate targets? Well, the analysts using existing open source data to model the current projection for emissions from the passenger vehicle industry. And without further action, our industry will have spent its entire CO2 budget by 2035. And by 2050, the cutoff year set by the Paris Climate Agreement to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees, we will have overshoot the limit by at least 75%. Today, passenger vehicles account for 15% emissions globally, and unlike other sectors, we are lucky because we have a solution. A scalable climate solution exists, and that is the battery electric car. So there's a clear path forward. The climate crisis is a fossil fuel crisis. Oil consumption increases only to meet demand. And if demand and investment in green energy goes up, this balance will shift. The electric car is not perfect, and it's not enough on its own. But it is key how to transform ourselves into a modern, high-tech economy. Clinging to the past, to the combustion engine, will only hold us back. And the open technology approach, sorry, but it is a fig leaf, an excuse for inaction. The cost of inaction will ultimately be much higher price to pay because it will allow others to take the lead and for us to fall further behind. The challenges of Germany faces today are not because of transition to a digital green economy is too fast. It is because it is too slow. Instead of doubling down on our reputation for being slow-moving, pollution, and opaque, what if our industry turns its extraordinary engineering skills and capital towards a truly sustainable innovation? When we founded Polestar, I wanted to show that creating beautiful and desirable cars could persuade people to choose more sustainable options. Today, our design and sustainability and the R&D team work hand in hand to harness the combined power of the great design, the innovation, and true transparency in creating the most sustainable product possible. We are showing that it's possible to make beautiful and desirable and high-performance electric cars, just like Rimac does. And we are showing the huge potential for innovation in premium sustainable interior materials, from natural fiber composites to 3D knitted textiles made from 100% recycled plastics. And we know that innovation around other challenges, reducing reduction-related emissions, finding more responsible sources, and securing more renewable energy, that will bring with it huge business opportunities. And, of course, the competitive advantage. 3 years ago, we published the first life cycle assessment of the Polestar 2. We want to be transparent, to be upfront about the environmental impact of our electric cars, particularly in the production phase, however uncomfortable it might be. Transparency is our best weapon against greenwashing and the sort of disinformation that aims to keep the status quo. And it's why we need a standardized LCA for the industry. While EVs may leave the factory with a bigger carbon footprint, their carbon impact over the lifetime is much lower. And in fact, if charged with green energy, it is about half of the combustion engine. And while a fossil fuel-driven car never will be carbon neutral, an electric car offers the real route towards carbon neutrality. So, one time at a time. This is the promise of EVs. We had 26 tons in 2020, and today, 23 tons. So in 3 years, we have reduced the carbon footprint of the Polestar 2 by 3 tons. And at the same time, it actually travels up to 22% further, it consumes 9% less energy, and it charges up to 34% faster. So we can even make big improvements to a car that is already in production and still reduce its CO2 impact. Getting to zero will take much more radical innovation and collaboration. And that is the aim and the idea about the project Polestar Zero. We launched this in 2021 to challenge ourselves and to create that sense of urgency. And the aim is clear: to eliminate greenhouse gas emissions, cradle to gate and end to life. No low carbon solutions, no offsetting schemes. Zero means zero. Now, of course, we can't pull that off on our own. What matters is starting and getting to work, and do this in 3 phases. Research, phase from 21 to 25, applied science from 25 to 27, and then the product development 27 to 2030. Right now, we are focusing on the hardest bits to actually find new solutions that don't yet exist and identify sources of CO2 and eliminating them. We had for this several calls for collaboration, and today we have around 30 leading industry partners, all focused on that key areas: plastics, aluminum, steel, minerals, mining, safety, polymers, chemicals, and more. Some companies have already solutions that are ready to go today, and these we bring into our advanced engineering already today. Now, customers. Purchasing behavior is shifting, and consumers are demanding for these sustainable solutions. 40% of Gen Z and millennials, they are already willing to pay for greener products. And this is well where the capital is heading. Sustainability investments have already grown over 15% year on year since 2018. We must hold our nerves today because net zero targets, of course, they are being challenged by rising costs of living and the debates on who should pay for this transition. The fossil fuel lobby, they're of course profiting from the situation and spreading doubt about whether EVs are the way forward. And we all know how that goes. Perhaps carbon capture will save the day. Lithium-ion batteries have serious shortcomings and that can't be solved. Or maybe, you know, we should bet on hydrogen instead. But our actions as business leaders are more important than ever here. We have to resist that temptation to stick with the old ways. Decarbonization cannot be wished away, and in the next 10 years, we must reinvent all our technology to run an industry and a society with zero CO2 emissions. And for Germany, the opportunity to embrace its world-leading engineering and make this decade a golden age. And I believe that this is the only option. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Okay. Ist fertig? All right. Thank you very much. To talk over, so I'm going to go for it. We are going to take a very short 15-minute break. If you haven't been outside, the sun is shining, but do come back in 15 minutes because we are carrying on the program.